Hello, I'm David Groninger in Seattle, Washington, and today is Sunday, December 13th, 2013. I'm about to go on a bicycle ride. It's a little bit drizzly out there, but the weather's kind of warm and I plan to have a really good time. Well, every day I ask myself this question: what could I say in a 10-minute message that just might help 10 million people? I write down the answers I get, and then I pick something out and give a 10-minute talk. I'm going to cut it down to a 5-minute talk to help 5 million people because my friends have told me my 10-minute talks are too long. Either that or I repeat myself too many times and I could have said the same thing in 5 minutes. So I'm going to go for a 5-minute talk today. So today, when I ask myself, well, what could I say in 5 minutes that might help 5 million people? The idea I got is something that I call invisible pain. Invisible pain. Now, pain is, of course, a feeling of being hurt, being in anguish. You know, there's physical pain, there's emotional pain, or maybe kind of a mental kind of a pain. And I'm going to talk about physical pain, about invisible physical pain. And what I mean by that is this. The visible pain, I call this when you're actually in pain, like you have a sore throat and the back of your throat really, really hurts. And your sinuses are infected and they really, really hurt. And you have a headache, your head hurts and your eyes hurt. And maybe your muscles ache and your joints ache. That's physical pain. Now what I refer to as, that's visible pain, as I call it. Now what I refer to as invisible pain, that is the time of your life that's leading up to getting that sore throat, particularly time that you were not too aware of the things you were doing that may have led to the actual getting the sore throat and the physical pain. And then once you get through the physical pain, your sore throat goes away, then I go back to what could be invisible pain again. That is, if you're not aware that you could be recreating the same situation a month or two down the road, or 3 or 4 months down the road, to get the same kind of pain again, another sore throat. So it has to do with being aware or being unaware. And what I mean is that when we are in some kind of pain, it's like a wake-up call. We know we're in pain and we want to do something about it. If it's a bad sore throat, we'll take care of it in some way. There are many different remedies and treatments for a sore throat, and we'll do something to take care of it. But what happens is once we get rid of the sore throat and we feel better again, we no longer do the treatment. But what if a part of the treatment was actually a part of the preventative measures that would prevent getting the next sore throat? And what if you stopped doing those things after the sore throat went away because you only took action based on the immediate feeling that you felt? In other words, you feel pain now, so you'll take a Tylenol now. You'll feel pain in the back of your throat now, so you'll take a cough drop now. But what about managing to prevent getting a sore throat? What about taking very good care of your health, getting lots of rest, having a healthy diet, getting exercise, managing your stress level so that on a consistent basis you're not building up a backlog of stress. You're not allowing stress to pile up to the point where it gets so high or so heavy that it starts to maybe show itself or manifest itself in some form of pain, headache, or maybe even lowering our resistance to the point where it's easier for our body to get colds or flus from other people. Have you noticed sometimes that maybe when you're in very, very good condition, taking good care of yourself, and other people have colds or flus around you, and maybe when you caught it, it only lasted a few days, or maybe you didn't catch it at all? Have you also noticed that maybe times that you were not taking good care of yourself, you were not getting enough rest, you were not eating nutritious foods, you were not exercising, you were, the toxins in your body were not rapidly and consistently being moved out by flushing them out by drinking lots of water, getting exercise so your digestion is working very well and consistent. If you notice that during these times when you were not taking good care of yourself and you got colds more easily, the times you were not taking good care of yourself, this is called the invisible pain. Now, there's really not pain here. I call it invisible pain because it's something that can lead up to the getting of pain. So the overall idea of what I'm trying to say is be aware that, for example, in the next 12 months of your living, there are chances or risks that you might experience some pain. You know, if you get up too early and, you know, for the last 3 or 4 or 5 days, you were not getting enough sleep, you were eating foods that really congested your body, and, you know, you were not drinking very much water, so you're a little bit dehydrated, your body is, full of too many rich foods or whatever, and you get up feeling badly, well, what do you know? That's my 5 or 6 minutes. Normally I'm supposed to quit, but I'll just go another minute or two to wrap up. What I call the invisible pain is when you are a bit neglectful of the risk of getting the pain. Because things are going well, you don't feel like you have to take any action to do anything. My idea is this: supervise the quality of your life. Be a better supervisor, a better manager of your life, and understand that you will go through periods of non-pain and pain. I hope you go through many, many periods of non-pain. In fact, a better word for non-pain is pleasure. I hope you go through lots and lots of periods of your living here where you are in a state of good feeling and pleasure. And I hope that your periods of pain are short and well managed. The idea, though, is to understand that both of these conditions can happen. And in the time that you're not in the pain, realize that it's kind of like invisible pain, because it could happen if you do not see how to manage your life to prevent it, or to at least lessen the effects of it if it does happen. So be a supervisor over your life. Don't wait until you get into some kind of pain to then go see the doctor, to then get a prescription for pain medication, to then take the Tylenol, to then, start to take care of yourself. Take care of yourself during all periods of the invisible pain and the visible pain. Be a supervisor, kind of overseeing your life, and don't let your life be influenced or moved or, motivated just by if you're in pain or if you're not in pain. When you're not in pain, manage your life well and do not, overdo things just because you feel like you have the energy to go 4 or 5 nights without very much sleep. Still don't do it. Even though you're not in pain, manage your life well during the good times so that you won't have the bad times. And if you do, they should be shorter and more manageable. And when you do have the bad times, when you actually are in the pain, sure, maybe you take the Tylenol. Sure, you take some time off, take cough drops, see the doctor, whatever you need to do in order to best manage this pain. But I want you to do something in addition to taking the Tylenol or whatever you take so you don't feel the pain. I want you to attempt to understand what has caused this situation leading to this pain. What is the real cause of this pain? And if you study this well enough, you might discover that maybe it's because consistently you don't get enough rest. Consistently, you're not aware of people who are around you who are sick, and avoid them. Maybe you're eating the wrong kinds of foods that congest you, not foods that easily go through the body, but foods that sit here and make the body more toxic, So this talk, again, has been invisible pain and visible pain. Visible pain and invisible pain. And the thing to be aware of is to manage the time when you're in this invisible pain. It's the time of your life that could lead up to pain if you don't manage it well. But remember, there's nobody knocking at your door at that time, making little painful sensations to make you wake up and do something. You have to be the supervisor over this. Maybe each week go through your schedule and say, hey, give yourself a rating. How is my quality of sleep? How is my quality of my diet? Am I getting exercise? Am I managing my stress level? Am I doing the things in life that are supporting a consistent state of well-being? This is, you might call it life management. The better you manage your life, then you won't have to worry about this invisible pain and visible pain, because you're going to have a whole bunch of time that's pretty well, and the painful time will be less and less. Be oblivious to managing your life. Don't take the time to understand what might be causing the pain in your life, and it might, repeat over and over again, and even get worse, and even last longer each time. So my message to you today is to be a better manager of your life. And remember that whenever there is pain in your life, that before that period of time, maybe for weeks or months, there is what I kind of call, I created the word, invisible pain. And just because it's invisible and you can't see it, does not mean that there are things that you're doing that are leading up to and creating the pain that could happen. Well, that's my talk. I know I repeat myself when I talk. I'm trying to teach myself to be a bit more succinct, and hopefully I'll do that. I've been giving these talks now for about 3 weeks. My idea is that if I give 1,000 talks, each one about 10 minutes long, with the idea that I might help 10 million people, out of 1,000 talks, which will take me about 3 years to do, that maybe one of those talks might actually help the 10 million people. So that's what I'm up to, and I'm going to end off now saying thank you for listening to me an extra 5 minutes after I went over my 5-minute talk. This is David Groninger in Seattle, Washington, on a rainy, drizzly night, saying thank you.